in camera, using a webcam, so you gotta bear with me. Got a second night, my comedy hour, and I wanted to dabble in a little bit of everything because I've been interested in following Dolly Parton, what she does, and she started dabbling in a little bit of everything, music. Then she did some books and stuff like that, different stuff here and there, movies, and comedy. I don't know if she did much comedy, but I think she tried. And I want to try my comedy as well. And I'll always try to incorporate her in my comedy if I can. She's a big influence in what I do. So whether it's songs or my song practice and all that. I'm going to use my song name, Boxcar Richard, for my comedy act. And this is my second night, so it's going to be a second part. And it's going to be about getting detention, and it's going to be about the first kiss. And those are the two I've been together in this night. And if you all remember the first time you got your detention, when you're in high school, I don't know if they do that now or not. The kids these days, if they get detention or not for doing something they shouldn't be doing in school. I had a Walkman back then, and I had it stolen a couple times and all that, and you don't get detention for that, but you get detention for something else, like not for having a Walkman, listening to music in the hallway, or sometimes you get detention for the way you're dressed. Do you remember the first time you got detention in high school? What it was like? You walk into that room, you see a couple of kids there sitting in desks. Everybody's all hush and quiet, and so it's like you did something really bad and like, something you shouldn't do. That's the kind of feel you get when you walk into that little room full of people. And it's like a few kids. What did you do? You can't start a chat conversation there or anything, but you just like walk in, yeah, man, I got detention or something. I don't know for what. You remember your first time way back in high school? Sure, you all got used to one or two detentions back in the day. If they do that now, with the kids going to school, I don't know if they're that strict. Maybe some of those Catholic schools where they have those nuns with the ruler, they whack you with the hand, on the hand with the ruler. That never happened, but that kind of feeling you get when you get detention, that kind of strict feel back in the day. For something that you shouldn't be doing, maybe you overslept or you were gone for something, you came back and you should have been in school for that day, but sometimes you need a break, and sometimes you get a detention for something you shouldn't be doing. But that's how things were back in the day. Back in those days, they were pretty strict, mostly towards the Catholic schools. They had those kind of detention. I don't know if the public schools in general, where a lot of the other schools were like a uniform, and those are the type of schools where you have detentions. But I think the other schools as well, the ones that don't need a uniform, I think they have some kind of strict rule as well, but I've never been to those schools. The ones I was going to, you had like a uniform, you tie button up to your neck collar where you couldn't barely breathe. And those were the kind of uniforms that you had to have back then. And once in a while, you didn't have to have a uniform. You had to pay like $1 for a special day where you could wear your clothes. But so sometimes you get away. I'm not going to pay that $1. I'll just wear the uniform like I do every day, and I can wear my normal clothes when I come home. Except that you don't have the money when you're that young. Pay for $1 for a special day where you could wear a T-shirt and don't have to wear a freaking tie button up to your neck every day. But detention was one of the strict things that they had back then. A lot of times, if you come in late, high school, we played the national anthem, and you have to stand still for the whole anthem. So everybody's like, you step in the door like 3 feet, and if you hear the anthem, stare up into the sky for the next 10 minutes. You cannot move. For some reason, they don't want you to moving when you hear the anthem when you walk into school, and that was the big thing back then. I remember. Then the cafeteria came along later on. They had food, but you have to pay for food and all that. I don't remember getting free lunches like kids these days. And commercials like they talk about, oh, we're getting free food from the school. I don't ever recall that experience in the school where I've had a free meal. But schools and things change from time to time as well. And next thing I want to talk about, second act, is your first kiss. Do you remember when you had your first kiss? And if you remember, what were you doing? Was it a game? So sometimes you get your first kiss during those games, hangouts, like spin the bottle and stuff like that. You could get a kiss from a certain girl sometimes that way. I don't really recall having my first kiss that, like spin the bottle and all that. First kiss was kind of special with a girl, whether it was a school girl or a girl you knew out of school. You had your first kiss experience, and sometimes if it was a girlfriend from school, she gave you a kiss or something for one day, and you feel all that affection from somebody when you're in school, and things happen that way. But during a lunch break or something, you get a kiss from a girl in school, and that's sort of how I remember my first experience with a girl in school. It was like a recess or a lunch break, in the schoolyard, somebody, and either get a hug or you get like a kiss during that time, and things move from there. And somehow the first experience sticks with you, and as you get older, it stays with you the whole way through. And those experiences you build up on, and those two I just wanted to bring up in my comedy, and hopefully you remember your first kiss, and whether it was during school days or it was maybe somebody never had a kiss in high school, maybe you had a hug or something close to a kiss, but then you get your experience after, you build your experience after, when you start going to the strip clubs and you meet those girls in the strip clubs, and you're giving them your money for those table dances, and you get your first experience that way. But if you were lucky enough, you could get your first experience from high school, and high school was a very tough time sometimes. It's very strict, but sometimes you get the strict teacher, then you get the girl, and then you get the break, and then sometimes you get a first kiss that way. But those are the kind of things I wanted to bring together in this comedy hour. If you remember your first kiss, and if you remember your first detention, whether it was in high school or even a little bit before high school. Sometimes you could become a bad boy before high school. In grade school, you could become a bad boy, and yeah, sometimes you get into fights. Either way, things happen, and you have those experiences from high school, and things change a little bit year to year from high school. Those uniforms that you have to buckle up with your neck and your tie and all that. Don't know if they used to have those kind of strict uniforms, and maybe it's a little bit more laid back now. You don't have that teacher whacking you on the fingers when you're doing something bad. Maybe that's a little bit early before my time, but I do remember getting a detention and all that in high school, and I do remember those cafeterias. But you never really have to get a free meal. Like some kids talk about, oh, we get free meals in school all the time now. I never had that experience of getting a free meal in school. You always have to pay for your meal. So if you're one of the lucky ones, you get a warm meal in school. Sometimes you get a hamburger that way, or sometimes you have to bring your own sandwich. And it's those kind of experiences that you build up on your high school memories, and that's what I want to touch up on in this comedy hour. Boxcar Richard, thanks for watching.